Sato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Sunday service of the Vedanta Society of Toronto. It is being broadcasted live from Ramakrishna Vedanta Center of Pittsburgh. So we're here. There are some devotees also here. And today we'll begin our Sunday service with song or chanting from Hari, from Hari of the center. So Hari, your song, please.
Cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila. Shamadama karuna sampurnana Shamadama karuna sampurnana Sadhu samagama sankirnana Shamadama karuna sampurnana sadhu samagama sankirnana cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila. Tapatraya jita kandarpanam khandita sarvendriya darpanam tapatraya jita kandarpanam khandita sarvendriya darpanam cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila. Paramahamsa guru padacittanam brahmananda amritamattanam Paramahamsa guru padacittanam brahmananda amritamattanam cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila tesham cinta nasti kila.
Now we have reading from Buddha-The Buddha.
So Swami Vivekananda gave a talk in San Francisco on March 18th, 1900. The subject of the talk was Buddha's message to the world. So here's an excerpt from that talk. Buddha was a triumph in the struggle that had been going on between the priests and the prophets in India. One thing can be said for these Indian priests. They were not and never are intolerant of religion. They never have persecuted religion. Any man was allowed to preach against them. Theirs is such a religion. They never molested anyone for his religious views. But they suffered from the peculiar weaknesses of all the priests. They also sought power. They also promulgated rules and regulations and made religion unnecessarily complicated, and thereby undermined the strength of those who follow their religion. Buddha cut through all these excrescences. He preached the most tremendous truths. He taught the very gist of the philosophy of the Vedas to one and all without distinction. He taught it to the world at large because one of his great messages was the equality of man. Men are all equal, no concession there to anybody. Buddha was a great preacher of equality. Every man and woman has the same right to attain spirituality. That was his teaching. The difference between the priest and the other caste he abolished. Even the lowest were entitled to the highest attainments. He opened the door of nirvana to one and all. His teaching was bold, even for India. No amount of preaching can ever shock the Indian soul, but it was hard for India to swallow Buddha's doctrine. How much harder it must be for you. His doctrine was this: why is there misery in our life? Because we are selfish. We desire things for ourselves. That's why there is misery. What is the way out? The giving up of the self. The self does not exist. The phenomenal world, all this that we perceive, is all that exists. There's nothing called soul underlying the cycle of life and death. There's a stream of thought, one thought following another in succession, each thought coming into existence and becoming non-existent at the same moment. That is all. There is no thinker of the thought, no soul. The body is changing all the time, so is mind, consciousness. The self, therefore, is a delusion. All selfishness comes of holding on to the self, to this illusory self. If we know the truth that there is no self, then we will be happy and make others happy. This was what Buddha taught. And he did not merely talk. He was ready to give up his own life for the world. He said, if sacrificing an animal is good, sacrificing a man is better. And he offered himself as a sacrifice. He said, this animal sacrifice is another superstition. God and soul are the two big superstitions. God is only a superstition invented by the priest. If there is a God, as his Brahmins preach, why is there so much misery in the world? He is just like me, a slave to the law of causation. If he is not bound by the law of causation, then why does he create? Such a God is not at all satisfactory. There's a ruler in heaven that rules the universe according to his sweet will and leaves us all here to die in misery. He never has the goodness to look at us for a moment. Our whole life is continuous suffering, but this is not sufficient punishment. After death, we must go to places where we have other punishments, yet we continually perform all kinds of rites and ceremonies to please the creator of the world. Yes.
Thank you, Hari, and thank you, Buddhadev. Now, today's topic of discussion is Gautam Buddha-The Enlightened. The Buddha Purnima was just last Sunday on, actually it was Monday, the 12th of May. We thought it's nice to discuss about Buddha. We all are very much interested and know about Buddha, how Buddhism is such a popular religion all over the world. And people who love peace, they follow the teachings of Buddha. Buddha teachings are meant not only for the Buddhists, but for all mankind, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jews, Parsis, to all. So they enrich us, they give us the way to our spiritual progress. So thinking and talking and listening about Buddha is always fruitful for our spiritual quest. It was the month of May, that Buddha was born on a full moon day, not in a palace. He was the son of a king. He was a prince, but he was not born in palace, not in the hospital. Where he was born was a big forest, deep forest of sal trees in the northern India. And there he was born in the Indian subcontinent. And then after being born, they say that he started walking and the lotus flower bloomed where he walked. That's what the people say. Sometimes they make this incarnation of God as made greater than other common people. So that is to be just to be matter of belief. So anyway, the prince was born, and when he was taken to the palace, and astrologers were called to find the future of this newborn prince. They said he was going to be a great man. He used to be a great emperor if he rules the kingdom. And there is a chance that he may renounce the world and become a monk. And when he becomes a monk, he will be a great preacher of religion, a founder of religion, and great light to mankind. So these two possibilities were said about the Buddha. He was called Gautama. He was born as Siddhartha Gautama, and later on, after his awakened, he is called Buddha. The word very Buddha means the awakened, awakened to the reality. We are all in darkness. That's why the prayer says, lead us from darkness to light. So this what light we see, we are in darkness because we don't know our true nature, we don't know who we are, we don't know what God is. We have never experienced the divine or spiritual entity. So we are in search of that. Till we have found that, we are in darkness. So we are asleep. So that's why it's a tamaso ma jyotir gamaya. Lead us from the darkness to light, the real light, light of spiritual enlightenment. So Buddha was that who was awakened. When somebody asked Buddha, are you God? He said, no. Are you a man? He said, yes. But what type of man you are? I am an awakened person. I have known the truth. So, and he said, the truth that I have known can be known by any human being. It is not a privilege of certain people, but it can be known by any human being. I am awakened. I am Buddha. He said that. That's why he is called Buddha. His earlier name was Siddhartha the Gautama, and it's called Buddha. So Buddha's philosophy, he didn't believe on theories or theologies or dogmas and creeds. He was nothing that. He even discarded the Vedas, such a huge philosophy in which he was born. He studied. He grew up in the philosophy of the Vedas and rituals of the Vedas. But he discarded all that. He said theories Do not make spiritual. To become spiritual was his goal. And he said that you have to practice spirituality and attain spiritual knowledge for yourself to become enlightened. And this theology somebody has experienced, that is good for you to inspire, but it will not lead you to light. You have to practice. So that was the thing. So he went beyond theology. Sri Ramakrishna also said, when you have come to mango orchard, you need to eat mango. Don't count how many leaves are there, branches are there. So what is there in philosophy? Is God impersonal or personal? Is God formless or with form? Those are all topics for discussion. Do not lead to your spiritual quest. So need is to realize your spiritual quest. That Buddha was very much into that. uh, Buddha had also like that thing. Somebody is hit by an arrow and is taken to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, let me treat. Let me take out the arrow first." And the patient said, "No, no, no, don't take it first. I want to know the person who shot. Was he a man or a woman? Was he a tall or short? Was he fair looking or dark?" So if he is going to think about those persons, and the poison of the arrow will poison the body and he will die. First, remove the arrow and treat the wound. That is important. So try to realize the truth. Try to become spiritual. And all theories, theologies, dogmas, they won't help in practice if you don't practice those. Those may be helpful to find a society, community. For individual, it is all about our quest. So there is a need of preparation to realize the spiritual nature of ourselves, to realize the spirit. And that preparation starts from curiosity. We go to many places, hear to many teachers and spiritual leaders, and read books. Curiosity has come. Now, that curiosity should bring us to earnestness, to find something. Oh, this is my path. So, and then you bring and have earnestness for that. And after earnestness, then comes this passion for other things, and you become focused on the path that you have chosen. So that is how the preparation starts. Uh, Buddha, when he was told that if he finds any suffering, he may renounce the world and become a monk. So his father made an possible that he doesn't find any suffering in the world. May he not suffer, may he not see suffering. That was his father, the king's wish was. So he kept in the palace, in the garden house, and where all there was only joy, happiness, merrymaking, and all that. Nothing of suffering should be there. So, but Buddha grew to become a man, and he said to his charioteer, "I want to go and see my kingdom." So he went very first day. He saw a man walking with the staff, with the stick, and he was bent forward. And he asked, "Why this man is walking like that? I've not seen, like, first time we're seeing an old man." So his charioteer was a wise man. He said, "He is a old person. He cannot walk straight, and everyone who lives long has to become old." And this is so. Buddha said, "Oh, that is reality. There's suffering. He cannot be lead like a normal youthful person." Yes, everyone has to become old and has to take the pain of the oldness, the old age. So that one revelation was there. Next day, he found a sick man. Why this man is crying? Oh, he's having pain. He's suffering from sickness. Oh, everyone has to suffer. Yes, most of the people have to suffer if they live life, and the life is suffering. So life is suffering. Third day, he saw a dead body. Why they are taking him on the shoulders? This person covered with a white cloth. They said he is dead. He said, "Death, death. What is death?" So everyone who is born has to die. So everyone has to die. Oh, yes, Charitus. Yes, death is inevitable. You cannot escape death. So this other day he saw a monk. walking very peacefully, not like other person, not worried, free from all anxieties. And there was a glow of peace and happiness in his face. He says, "What is this? Wearing strange clothes." "Oh, he's a monk, sir." "What are monks?" "Oh, they renounce the world in the quest of spiritual knowledge, and they find the spiritual revelation, and they are always happy. Nothing can make them suffer, so they are always peaceful and happy." So, oh, that is possibility. So Buddha one day thought, after his son was born, the morning that his son was born, son's name was Rahula. That very morning, early morning, the Buddha looked at his son, newborn son, and his young wife, and he went, asked the charioteer to take him to the at the border of the kingdom. And from that, he started walking in the common dress. He wore common dress and went to a hermitage and lived a life of a renunciate. And there he studied the Upanishads. We're sure he has studied the Vedanta. That's why his philosophy reveals so much of Vedanta in a practical sense, discarding all presumptive thing about Brahman and all that. He doesn't talk about Brahman, about other things, God or anything. He just says you have to get rid of suffering. There's so much suffering, and that suffering can be got rid of. So there he became monk. He was not satisfied, and then finally he left those hermitage also, went by himself to a place called Bodh Gaya. It is still there near the city of Gaya. So there he went and sat under Bodhi tree. Bodhi is a banyan tree. Banyan is a kind of ficus, huge tree having its roots hanging, the hanging roots it has. So he sat, oh sorry, it was Aswatha tree, not the banyan tree. Aswatha tree. Aswatha is like another ficus species, called Ficus religiosa, it's called. So under that tree he sat. It was a full moon day, the day of his birth actually. The day he was born, the same full moon day in the month of May. And there he sat and said to himself, "I shall realize the truth this night. I will not get up." So much of determination to realize the truth. He had already advanced in his spiritual life, and he was almost sure that he has come and was knocking the door. As Jesus said, "Knock the door and it shall be open to you." It was like knocking the door, and he was sure to open the door. I said, "I will not get up. Even if this body dies, I will not get up from meditation." He went into meditation with such determination and went deep and attained the Bodhi and Nirvana. Nirvana, he later on described as the cessation. It is like blowing out. Blowing out of what? Blowing out or cessation of all ignorance, all desires born from of ignorance. So that he said, whenever we desire something, we create bondage. So don't desire anything. This world is ever changing. Whatever you get, that is enough. You will get enough to survive and live. So the more you have, the greater desires, the more bondage and suffering are there. So get rid of any desires. Then how will you survive if you don't have desires? If we get freedom from desires, all your needs will be met. Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. He said, whoever has a quest for spirituality, all his needs are met. Whatever he has to leave, or all, nobody gets away from that. Even the monks who give up everything, they are provided with food, cloth, medicine, treatment. Everything is done for even the monks. So those who do not have anything, people come forward. God, in the form of humanity, people, kind people, they come forward to help the person who doesn't have anything. So desire is the cause of bondage, he said. And after these four revelations to Buddha of suffering of life and his final enlightenment, and he became Buddha after enlightenment. Gautama became the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama became Buddha. Then he said, his philosophy says, everything is ever changing. If you want to hold on something, cling on something, this will give you suffering because you cannot hold. It is like asking a cloud in the sky to remain still. Can cloud remain still? It will be always changing. It will always moving with the breeze. So don't even try to do that. Things will change. Situations will change. So accept the change. That itself is a acceptance of the truth of this world, of this life. Accept change. Don't cling on anything in life. Don't cling on health. Don't cling on youthfulness. Don't cling on life itself. The life is there for certain time. It will go. And when you are ready to accept the changes in life, then suffering goes. Then you accept anything. So that's he says, everything ever changing. Believe and hold on to that. After it is said that this Eastern religion, Oriental religion is life negating. They don't consider life to be enjoyable, whereas the Eastern religion is life affirming. They say you enjoy this. Jesus said, eat this, drink this. He himself gave fish and the fish and the bread and the wine. And as if it is said that way, but it is very wrong understood. Jesus helped the people, his mother, when there was need of those, and they become the miraculous thing. That was not the goal of Jesus. Jesus also said, "He who loves this life shall lose it." So, not loving this life, loving God is the main thing. But for certain purpose, he had that power. He revealed the power, that extraordinary power he had, just to reveal so that people accept him. First, when these great teachers come, they have to be accepted by the people. That's why the teaching will go. Otherwise, you say the teaching, people will not hear, not listen, and not practice. What is the use of that teaching? So, to be acceptable in that society, he had to show that I am extraordinary. And for that, he had to show some miracle. And after saying the miracle, he said, "Follow me, let dead bury the dead." Like those things. Don't be concerned with worldly things in the world. So those who say that Oriental religions are life negating and Christianity is life affirming, they do not know about the Oriental religions, or they do not know even Christian, even the teachings of Jesus. Oriental religion is very much life supporting. They want you to realize your spiritual nature in this very life. This life is God gifted opportunity to realize the truth. And that is the ultimate goal of human life. All other smaller things are just the means for that goal. You have a decent job, you earn money, you live a nice life, you have a healthy body and mind. All that is meant to have the ultimate goal of God realization, or becoming Buddha in the language of Buddha, or having experiencing the bliss of nirvana. So this is what Buddha taught. And he said, there is suffering, he said. And he said, he went to, after his realization of nirvana, he started walking from Bodh Gaya, walked all the way to Varanasi. And in Varanasi, there was one deer garden, Mrigadava. So in deer garden, now called Saranath, he went there and he found his followers were there already when Buddha was practicing his austerity. He practiced so intense that he had become bone and skin. So after having seen this austerity, the people started following him. And the four persons were there, they were become his followers. And when Buddha ate payasam from Sujata, he said, "We have become now luxurious." He then gave up just to survive. Buddha learned that only austerity and mortification of the body is not the way to realize the truth. So he accepted food. And he said, Madhya Pantha. Later on also he said, the thing is to have the middle path in life. Everything middle. Don't go to extremes. He said, when a string of veena, the musical instrument, is tight, over tight, it may snap. If it is loose, no music will come. It should be middle way. That's why he said middle path. Sri Krishna in the Gita had already said about the middle path. Yukta hara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu. Yukta swapnavabodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. Yoga will take away all your suffering. But to practice yoga, you have to find the middle path. Yukta ahara vihara. You have to have moderate eating food, yukta, and vihara, and moderate recreation. Tara viharasya yukta chestasya karma. And you have to moderation in your work also. Do not overwork. Do not underwork. There should be moderation in work. So that's how Sri Krishna taught even before Buddha. The Buddha taught the same thing, emphasized on the middle path, have decent life, do recreation, exercise, keep your body fit, a mind alert, and have a quest for spiritual knowledge. Try to ask who really I am. So that's what the way of Vedanta, trying to realize that you are immortal, says the truth, says the teacher, says the scriptures also. And if I am immortal, affected by this world, so why don't I feel that way? I'm always being affected by very small things of the world. A few words of other person can make me very angry. Just some thing that I do not like. Oh, you are an idiot. Just we flare up. Just the word it came, and as if I am really idiot. But otherwise, why do we react so much? So anything of the world, little situation, little even look and smile. If you're going, some person just looks at you and laughs, and you say you become angry. Why are you laughing at me? He must be laughing with some other purpose. So this is how the world affects us. Don't be affected from the world. So that is the thing. Don't ignore the world. If you have quest for spiritual enlightenment, world doesn't bother you, because we are not focused on spiritual quest. That's why we become too much concerned about what is the world's opinion upon us. Whatever is the opinion, what does it matter? So that's how Buddha also said. According to Buddha, the cause of suffering is ignorance. The Vedanta says that the cause of suffering, klesha, is based on four things. It says first is avidya. Avidya is we forget our true nature. Ignorance has come. I am that Satchitananda. I am that spiritual entity which is not touched by the world and worldly changes. I am unchanging, immortal, uncreated, ever knowing, all knowing Buddha Swarupa, Nitya Shuddha, Buddha Mukta Svabhava. Vedanta also says Buddha Mukta Svabhava. Buddha is not the word of Buddhist. Buddha is the word from Vedanta. So Buddha means awakened, who knows that is a Buddha. That is my real nature. I am everlasting. I'm full of knowledge. I'm full of bliss. Satchidananda Swarupoham. So to understand that is the quest of human life. In human life only we can do. So when we forget that, then comes asmita. I forget my true nature, which is infinite bliss, and then becomes I, the smaller I, this human being, the sense of I separate from the whole. You have now lost your whole nature. That's why Jesus comes. Jesus says, "Come to me, I will make you whole." Whole means you, the infinite, what you are. Make you means I will make you understand that you are whole. You are not changed. You have not become the individual. You have not become finite, but you feel you are finite. I will make you whole. I will make you understand that you are infinite. So that from avidya comes asmita, the individuality comes. Whenever individuality comes, then you there is the world and there is you. Two things come. It was all one. No, a person of realization knows it is all oneness. I am that whole. I am everything. There is no I and you. All whatever you is there, your reflection of your own self. There is nothing that is not I, the for a realized person. So then comes two things come. the raga and dvesa. You divide the world that is in front of you in two parts. It is not northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. It is like and dislike. You like something and you dislike something. World is divided. Whereas in reality, the whole world is you. But you became individual by because of avidya. This asmita came, and from that came two things immediately: raga and dvesa. You like some, you dislike some. To that, what you like becomes attachment. You want to possess that, and though you do not like comes hatred. You want to averse that. So averse and attachment comes with raga and dvesa. So after that, what happened? And avinivesa. Then you think you are individual and your life is a limited life, only this human life, and you become attached to this life, and you enjoy this even raga and dvesa. Though they give you trouble and suffering, you start enjoying suffering. So somebody said to Sri Ramakrishna that this life is that. And Sri Ramakrishna says you should go beyond all attachment and hatred about the people. All you should love all because God is in the heart of everyone. And he says that, but then what will be my like and dislike? So that will be all gone. But no, I don't want that. Sub media base with all these things, little suffering, little like, little hatred, with all this, I'm fine. So people become used to this. That's why there's no cost for spirituality for most of the people. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaya. Among thousands of people, a very few have the quest for spirituality. They want themselves to realize. Very few, otherwise, all involved and engrossed and enjoying or suffering whatever is there, but they do not want to give whatever is there. That's how this Maya, the great power, that enchanting power of this creation of this world, it creates such a wonderful attraction to the life that we lead. We don't want to give life. The life is just taken away from that type of life. It is said that Maya is so powerful. When God came in the form of pig, in Hinduism there are the Savatara. There is Matsya, Kurma, then there is Varaha. Varaha is a pig. So he came in the form of pig to protect the earth from his death, and he was powerful like that. But after the thing was done, he was not going to heaven. He was not giving his body. Then all gods came. You have finished your job. You have also to go. You have become born here in this world, in this world of death. The Varaha says, no, no, I'm fine here. He forgot. By the power of Maya, that is his power. And he forgot about his own real nature. He said, I'm fine here with the children, all children he had and all that. And he was enjoying in mud, how the pig does. You have seen pig in India, a natural state. They enjoy being in mud, playing in mud with the children. Then Shiva said, what is this? You are Vishnu himself and was saying, I don't like to go and give up his body. Then he removed his body with the trident, and Vishnu came out of it laughing and went. So, like that is the power of Maya. So, we are caught in the power of Maya and start somehow liking this life. The only thing is, this life as we like changes always. It doesn't remain same. Our relations changes. We love our children when they are child, and then when they start growing up, they first they listen everything, and then we put force also that you have to do this. After some time, we find they do not listen. So they have their own view. They go to school and they talk about with their friends. Oh, my mother is now doesn't listen to me. She doesn't give. She's not that good mother. Like that, they start saying the relationships start changing. When they grow up and still you want to control them, then they will say, "Mother, father, now this is very difficult. I want to go to other university in other city. Want my freedom." There starts freedom coming. So how is that? Then if it is too harsh relation, then they will say, sometimes it's so sad. The children whom they love and they rear and that, they do not keep communication. That in extreme cases. In that case, it's not the fault of parents, it's the fault of child to understand the sacrifice love of the parents. When they themselves become parents, then they understand. They say to love the love of parents, it takes 60 years. for a human being. First, love, obedience, and listening, and then slowly little complaints, slowly like that. And when you yourself become mother or father, they know, oh, how much my parents love. And when you are 40, the complaints come. And when you are 60, then you understand the sacrifice and love of your parents. So this is how this world is, always trying to do that. We are born with a bundle of impressions. And here, what happens, Buddha said, is the first thing that for the bondage or suffering, what is the first thing that starts is sense contact. So senses contact the object, something. And when the senses comes to contact the object, then sensations and feeling come that, oh, this is good. And I sort possess that. And that sensation brings attachment. Then that sensation brings thirst. So first is, oh, if I could have that, then I must have that. The thirst comes. If you don't have, you will have tried many things. Suppose there is window shopping. You go and you find a nice pair of shoes or a beautiful jacket. First is, oh, it's very nice color. And you start walking, no? And then next day again you see that. Third day you see that. Oh, if I could have that, how much money it costs? Let me see the price tag. And then, oh, it's not that costly. It's only $200. So, but I have somehow my wardrobe is full of all this jackets. So, but this is a new one. It will look good on me. And then this after some time the thirst comes. No, I should have that. Then you bring the money and just spend for nothing, useless. So then with thirst makes attachment. Now you are attached that. Without that, you will not feel good. If that is sold out, then you will say, where is the jacket also? Oh, what happened? You feel bad. You suffer. From attachment comes deeds or action. So you want that. In all our things, our actions come and deeds come, and that deeds make impression in our samskara, in our jivatma or subtle mind, and then that causes us rebirth. Rebirth is for the fulfillment of all desires that we had in our past life. Not all desires actually. We had so many desires. A amount of desire that is to be fulfilled in this life is called prarabdha. A lot of desires remain. A huge bag of tons of desires are there. A little that comes to this life called prarabdha. And some of the desires are fulfilled in this life, whatever was there. That's what the birth is for. And in while fulfilling those desires, we create new desires which are not fulfilled. And they all go and become accumulated in our sanchita karma, in our the karma that is accumulated, huge karma. And whole karma has to be fructified. And always from this birth, after that, to fulfill other wishes and desires, next birth will come. So this cycle of birth and death will always be there. And when we are born, uh, because we don't accept everything that life gives, so we suffer. They say this pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Whether that pain makes you suffer or not is optional. If you accept that it will happen when we are old, that will happen. We asked one Swami, actually Swami Swahanandaji, who is the founder of this center. We asked when he had come to Toronto. In fact, Buddha had asked, Swami Maharaj, are you having pain in your body? He said, don't ask that to a person above 80 years of old. Every movement is suffering. I turn this side suffering, that side suffering, every joint is suffering. When we grow old, there is a lot of suffering. Accept that and there is no suffering means pain. If you accept that pain, there is no suffering. If you say, why me, then the suffering increases. That's what they say. So the thing is to wake up from this suffering. So to wake up, what is needed is trying to go deep into the quest. For that, we need to meditate. That was what Buddha said. Samyak dhyana. He said there should be life of ethical and moral life we lead, and practice concentration, and have a quest for reality alive and intense, and then practice meditation. So it is said meditation, that meditation it brings us to awakening. Buddha said he was awakened because he was a Buddha, and said this awakening is for every human being is given. For this awakening or this nirvana or bodhi, Jesus also said the same thing. He said, It is birth in spirit. That is the realization of our true nature, birth in spirit. We are born in this world, not and dissociated from our spiritual nature. But you should be born in spirit. You should be connected with your spiritual nature, said Buddha. In Vedanta, it's called Turiya, the state beyond waking, dream, and deep sleep, dreamless sleep. These are the three states we always vacillate. So sometimes wake, sometimes dreaming, sometimes deep sleep. But there is a fourth state, and that is called Turiya. Turiya is the state of realization, when you are neither sleeping nor awake, nor not dreaming, and not dead, and you are awake, and awake to what? To your spiritual nature. That is called nirvana, or cessation of suffering in Buddhism, and that is called mm, nirvikalpa samadhi in yoga, and that is called brahma jnana in Vedanta. The same realization that what Buddha says, being born in spirit. Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna was so simple and wanted to share everything to his, everything of his realization to his disciples. So that's why he invited people, come, I want to talk to you about my realization, about spirituality, about how we can get rid of suffering. It was not only Buddha that tried to remove the suffering. Every spiritual teacher that is born in this world tries to remove our suffering, from Krishna to Rama to Shiva to Ramakrishna, and everyone on according to their own path of teaching. Sri Ramakrishna once tried. I will tell you how what happens in samadhi. So he was trying and went to samadhi, and then he cannot speak. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, one cannot speak. It goes beyond words and beyond mind. Mind cannot think of that state, and speech cannot describe that state. Only you go, that real you that merge with your true nature. And that is indescribable. And Thakur tried many times to share that with the people, what happened there, what experience there. And he said, oh, mother denies me to speak about that. My tongue, someone holds my tongue. So I cannot speak about that. Our scriptures also say that that is indescribable. Avang manasa gocharam. Their mind cannot go, and speech cannot reveal that truth, that reality. But that is the goal. And in the Gita also, Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, now I will show you Vishwarupa. That is not the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, but one experience of seeing the whole world is under the Lord, under the one God, God's universal form. That was Sri Krishna wanted to show. He said, by this eye you cannot see that. You need Divya Chakshu, divine eye. And he said, I will give that to you. Divyam dadami te chakshu. And by giving that, he saw that. We need that divine eye to see our true nature, to see God in truth, the God as it is. And that divine nature is also called third eye of Shiva. And that third eye is not real third eye, it's the third eye which can see the light of spirit. And that can happen. The best process is meditation on the reality, trying to get rid of this world and worldly thoughts during meditation completely. Forget the whole world, forget your body and mind, forget your own I, and dive deep into reality. If I can break that threshold of your I and the reality, then you reach reality. You become Brahmagyani, you become knower of God. What happens to a Brahmagyani? He is now always in bliss, and his joy of inner self manifests outside as the person who tries to remove the suffering of the people, who always is ready to help the people. He knows or she knows that he or she is the whole universe. There is nothing that is other than he or she. The knower sees everything as himself or herself. Sri Ramakrishna was talking with the people in his house, and he saw the two boatmen in the Ganga, a little about 100, about maybe 200 feet away. They were fighting and quarreling, and he just was seeing that intently. And one of them became very haughty, and he slapped on the back of another person. Both men far away, and Sri Ramakrishna didn't hear what they were talking. But as soon as one person slapped the body of another, Sri Ramakrishna cried out as if he had slapped him. And he said, ah. And not only he cried out, his attendant came and, what happened, uncle? He said, his attendant was his nephew. He's there. Oh, someone, you see, slapped. And he said, where slapped? In body. And he saw the fingerprint of palm and five fingers in his body of the slapping of both men. Identity, identification with the whole world that happens. So the bliss of being one with all. When we have little I-ness of to our children, my child, my husband, my wife, my house. This identification itself makes us happy. Huh? We feel so happy to meet our son who was studying. My son has come. So like that, when you have the whole world as mind, realize and feel how much joyful, how many times it will be joyful for you. And also, if child is suffering from little pain, mother suffers more than the person himself. And that's how the suffering also increases along with that thing. That was the Buddha whose heart bled for people. He said the life should be for Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, for the good of many, for the happiness of many. So that's what his life was. He lived like that, and finally, at the age of 80, on he entered into Mahasamadhi, Mahaparinirvana they call, entered, gave up this body. And he said that giving up this body is a great event in his life, like attaining nirvana, having this bodhi. This is equally great because he becomes free from the bondage of the body, from the cage of the body. Soul is liberated. And he said to Ananda, never blame this person whose food made me food poisoning, because he has done the same thing as the Sujata has done. Sujata had given him food by which he survived, and this person, by mistake, some food poisoning was done. He had delivered him from the body. This Gautama, the enlightened, gave up his body and left for us his teachings, his life, his inspiration, his blessing for whole mankind for ages to come. And the day he had attained parinirvana and gave up his body was in the month of May, and that was the full moon day, the month of Vaishak. So in India, it's called the month of Vaishak. So his birth was full moon day in Vaishak. His enlightenment was on full moon day in Vaishak, and his deliverance from the body was on full moon day in Vaishak. So Vaishak becomes very holy month for Buddhists, and they call it Vaishak. Vaishak, they don't pronounce Veshak, they write sometimes. So this Vaishak just happened last week, 1 week before, and this is called Thrice Blessed Day. May the spirit of Buddha inspire us to search, to have the quest and earnestness to search our own reality, our own true self, which is Satchit Ananda, which is existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute, and by realizing which the human being loves the whole world as himself or herself and makes the world more free from suffering. Thank you very much. Now, the closing chant that we do in Toronto every Sunday. So it's like this. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Buddha ki Jai. Jai Isha Musha ki Jai. Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvasad Buddhimabnotu Sarvatra Nandatu. Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Thank you for attending today's Vedas Sunday service of the Vedanta Society of Toronto from Ramakrishna Vedanta Center of Pittsburgh.